What is going on, YouTube? Today I wanted to talk about, well, you guessed it, retro game collection addiction and stuff. One of the number one questions that I get asked is how to know when enough is enough and when you should really either think about getting rid of stuff or, you should just stop buying altogether. So in the past videos I talked about how when I originally started collecting, I was really just grabbing stuff from my youth that I wanted to play. And over time, it became an addiction. I just started buying everything in sight, collecting everything, and at some point I was just selling other stuff off to buy other stuff, to buy more stuff, to sell other stuff off. It was just a horrible, what do I want to say, loop-de-loop. Basically, I was just buying and selling to keep my collection addiction going. But that all changed a few months ago when I decided to finally take a look at myself and my collection and focus on improving it. So, as a lot of you know, when I first started collecting, I was going for a complete NES collection. I don't know why. I think it's because out of all the video game collections that are out there, all the video game consoles and everything, the NES is like the OG. Yes, there's Atari, Intellivision, and all those other ones, but the NES is really what saved the video game industry. And I don't know, I just love the way that the cartridges looked. I love the VCR style console and everything, and it just clicked. Well, yeah, so what that changed real fast once I started seeing the pricing for some of these NES games, guys. Absolutely insane. Obviously, we had the little Samsons, we have the some of the other ones going for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But what my biggest thing was I was just buying filler games and thinking I was really adding on to my collection when all I was really doing was just buying crap. And it was such crap that I can't even tell you what the name of most of those NES games were. You can kind of see behind me now. Back up there I have a channel, dust covers, and a couple boxed NES games down there. And there's a few off to the side over here. But nothing as insane as what I had before. And it just really came down to the fact was I didn't have a connection to any of those games, guys. And that's what I want to talk today about. Is, like I said, one of the number one things I get asked about why I sold some stuff, why I suddenly claimed to be addicted to retro game collecting, what all changed. And it really just came down to that. I was buying shitty NES games just to fill a shelf, just to have. And I tried playing some of them, and they were horrible, guys. I had no connection to them. I came to finally figure out, too, that I really just not a fan of most of the NES games. I mean, obviously, there's some out there that I love. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, like the NES is a horrible console. There's the Super Mario Bros. 3, there's the Zeldas, any of the Mario games, actually, Russian Attack, Jackal. There's quite a few NES games that I like, but as a whole, there was really not much that I wanted to get. But on top of that, I started buying, the mini consoles. I started getting this. I got the mini NES. I got a Retro Pi, and I had all those filler NES games. I had them now, and I could play the crappy ones if I really wanted to. If one day I wanted to fire it up, I could fire up one of these things. I think I got my mini NES loaded with almost all the NES games I can, and yeah, my Retro Pi I think literally has every NES game possible. But that's really what it came down to, was I didn't have a connection with any of these games. And at first, being a hoarder or collector or whatever you want to say, it was really hard to let go. But God, it was just, I wanted other games, and I know I talked about that in the past, that was the big thing that was kind of being addictive about all this stuff, was the game hunting and all that stuff. And what was coming around to was I was getting nice little dopamine spikes, I was getting nice little feeling voids and everything from just buying the games in general. So I was in that twisted cycle of buying lots of video games, selling off portions of those lots to buy more lots of video games, and then selling off portions of those ones And then it all would come back around to selling everything I originally got to buy other stuff, then only to sell that stuff to get other stuff. So at one point, when I wanted to get a Nintendo Switch, when I wanted to get a PS5, I was selling stuff off that I originally bought to keep just so I could get other stuff. And even now, we have the PlayStation VR 2 out. We have some other stuff out, and I am really throwing back the idea of just selling my PSVR and games so I could get, money towards the PSVR 2 or get the Oculus or whatever. But then I'm just also why? Why am I even struggling with this right now, and why do I even think I need to do that? Because why did I think I need that PSVR in the first place? Yes, I had fun with it for a while, and yes, my 5-year-old, soon-to-be 6-year-old, loves it too. He loves playing like Fruit Ninja and Iron Man and stuff like that. But do I really need the latest and greatest technology? And do I really need to sell everything that I actually might play now, specifically since I traded and sold a lot of my other stuff, just so I could have my private collection, or getting down to the bare bones of what I want to play? Do I have to really sell that other stuff just to do that stuff? And that's the struggle sometimes too with it, is you're wondering, what do I want to hold on to? And it's a struggle, guys. So whenever you want to you have to ask yourself, do I really need this? And I've said it 100 times probably already in these videos, because I've been popping out, a few of these a month now. You got to really ask yourself, guys, do I need this? Do I want this? I mean, obviously we don't need the video games. We don't. It's not air, it's not food, it's not shelter, it's not clothing. You don't need it. It's a want. And you got to think of it like that. Do I want to keep this? Do I need to keep wanting this? I don't know. But that's just it, what is something that you're going to enjoy having? Now, I've had a lot of subscribers comment, they said that they're not having a problem with their collection. They don't think they have addiction, and that's fine. Like I've said in some of my YouTube descriptions, and I commented before, I am not a doctor. I am not somebody that is qualified to tell you if you're addicted or not. But I could tell you the signs of it, and I could tell you how it's affected me in personal experience. And if you want to go with it, then go with it. Otherwise, it is what it is, guys. So going back on the story originally talking about, I sold off most of the NES games. The only ones I held on to were the ones that I enjoyed to play or that I had a personal connection with. I think sold off my original Zelda game because I'd never played original Zelda on NES when I was a kid. I did, however, play the crap out of Zelda 2 Link's Adventure, so I wanted to hold on to that one because I remember playing that a lot as a kid. And like I said, Jackal, one of my favorite NES games that I have yet to beat, but I want to someday. I held on to that one because who knows, maybe someday we will hook up the NES and go old school so that me and my sons can play Jackal together. But that's just what it is. It's just, you have to ask yourself, guys, do I really want to hold on to this? This is the biggest question that I get asked, is what did you decide to hold on to and stuff like that. And it's a struggle, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've read through the comments. I've talked with people on here, and they're telling me about all the struggles, that they're happy for these videos because they're kind of awakening something up inside of them. I'm not trying to influence you guys. I'm not trying to tell you that you have a problem, and I'm not trying to force you to sell your stuff. And I don't want people to make it seem like that. Like, I'm not trying to start a trend. I'm not starting to jump on with trends of people selling the retro collection, because that's not what this is about. This is just about trying to identify if you have a problem or not, and taking action and talking about that. Because I've talked about in the past, I have a problem with addiction, whether it be anything that makes me feel good. I have a tendency to get addicted to it, so I really have to work on focusing on controlling that a little bit, even though it's just let go and let God, I guess. But that's the problem with me, is I like to do stuff that I like to do, and sometimes it just gets out of control. So I'm kind of just ranting and raving now. I love reading your guys' comments, so please comment below what you guys have been thinking about lately and some of the good stuff. Let's get some good vibes going out there. What is some good stuff that's been going on with you guys lately? Make sure you comment it below. And yeah, I just want to leave on a good note, guys. So motivational thought for the day is, do you, man. Don't do stuff because you think other people want you to do it. Don't do anything that you don't want to do today. Do stuff that makes you feel good. Hang out with your family. Play a video game. Go for a walk. Enjoy nature. And just relax. I don't care if it's a Tuesday night. If it's a Sunday afternoon and everybody wants to go freaking and just, yeah. Do what you want to do today, guys. And just relax. Because, you know, we only get so many days in this world, and do what makes you happy. So, I just want to leave you guys with that. But as always, stay retro, my friends. I really thank you so much for watching these videos and hanging out with me. And that's the honest to God truth. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good day.